What's going on, family? This is the Chip Off the Old Block podcast. I'm your host, CJ Matthews, here with the notorious
Dr. CJ Matthews. How y'all doing today? Hey, man, thanks for joining us. Talking a little sports, maybe some politics, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, kinda. A middle, medium. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it is. But how you feeling today, Dad?
I'm doing real good. Yep, thankful. Getting ready for this 40 days of power. Doing pretty good. Good day. Beyond the normal pastoral cares and challenges for people's lives. But other than that, things are great.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I don't know where you want to start.
Well, some dude just went to 10 Super Bowls. Got 7 rings.
Yeah. So, we can start with the Super Bowl. That's cool.
And it didn't look good for the other team either. That's what made it so bad. It was like, ooh, that's a shellacking.
I probably got more to say about this than I do like the stuff that matters.
This is a butt whooping.
Yeah.
They're killing them.
Yeah. So I'll start with this. So it was a blessing because got to watch the game. 3 generations of CJs.
Oh yeah, right. Got Sir Charles' first Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that was a blessing. We got a chance to watch the game together.
And it was my first time being able to touch him too.
Yeah, actually, he saw both. That's the first time he's seen his other granddad too.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so
that was a big thing for me. Number one is our first Super Bowl together, but more important than that, it was the first time I actually got to say, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
Other than being on the phone and distance and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was probably like the best part of it, because the game really was like, man. It always seems to do that. Whenever you think it's gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be the best game all time, this is gonna be the best match, it never, like, whatever you expect from it, you never get what you expect.
Well, yeah, but I just don't think that it was expected to be on this end that it was on. Yeah.
So I mean, it's actually a lot of different storylines here with the Super Bowl. It's a lot really going on with it. And I'll start with this. Probably, I give Tom Brady his flowers. 7 Super Bowls. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say it. To win 7 Super Bowls, I think is like, wow. Like, no one has had a career like that. Clearly, like, the most winningest, I guess, quarterback of all time. Definitely in this era, the Super Bowl era. And it's like, hats off to that dude. Because how old is he?
43.
Yeah, I think 43. And my critique of him over his career has been like, and maybe I've been hating. It's like, because they always call him the greatest quarterback of all time based on his Super Bowl record, which is like, okay, I get your point. But, like, he never really wowed me, like, with his arm per se. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he made some good throws. The the touchdown to AB, that was a really good throw. He made some good throws. Other times, like historically, guys is just wide open, and you be like, man, I don't know how it is, but these guys is wide open. But he had a good game. Salutes off, hats to him. But I know he got the Super Bowl MVP, but that defense, man, and you've been saying it ever since, like the whole playoffs. That Tampa Bay defense was just on another level, and I didn't see it. And I think, to Tom Brady's credit, like I was telling you before, his decision was very calculated. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with what I'm about to say, but he specifically chose Tampa Bay. Now, once he made that decision, I'm sure he was instrumental in orchestrating some of those other pieces that was to come together. But he knew exactly what team he was becoming a part of, and nobody saw it. Like, nobody saw it coming. but he knew. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I come down to the one. No. It was a very clear choice to go there. And I'm going to just say it. I think this might be, well, they had the team that went undefeated in the regular season, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. Their plans got spoiled. But maybe outside of that, this is probably the best team he's been a part of.
Oh, without a doubt. No, again, you're going to get a lot of pushback on that. But when you go look at player for player across the defense and across the offense, this might be one of the better teams. And again, unfortunately for Jameis Winston, and fortunately for the fans and the people of Tampa Bay, he came in and did what great players do, brought a couple friends with him.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, I'm not upset or anything because he got the MVP. But the MVP we know was those 11 guys on defense.
Yeah, specifically the front, the defensive line. I mean, they just dominated. I know they had. I don't know if they had 2 offensive linemen out. They had one out for sure, maybe a couple. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. And the defense played lights out. And not only that, there was a lot going on, but Andy Reid got out coached.
No. See, this was the kind of whooping that when you look back on it and look at it again and again and again, anything unassociated with Tampa Bay got whooped. The equipment people, the bus drivers, the airplane.
Oh man, that happened before we was in. It was ironically in Florida. Never mind, I ain't gonna get into that.
Oh yeah.
It was like.
Well, see, that's how we grew up. What happened to y'all in Florida? That's how we grew up. It was 2 games, okay? It was the game. It was a fight after the game.
Yeah, so, all right, I'll get into it. So, one year, we used to go down to Florida every year around Thanksgiving. It wasn't, well, anyway, we was one particular time, we was whooping this team. I mean, we was whooping this team. Like, we was killing them. And they start getting mad. They start getting frustrated. So, they just start jumping off sides, hitting us after the play and all of this. And all of this culminated into a brawl, all out. I mean, players was fighting, coaches was fighting, cheerleaders was fighting. We ain't had no pets, but if we would have had dogs, they would have been fighting too. So it was just like you was talking about.
Yeah, it is. And again, I was rooting for Kansas City without a doubt because of local young men, Frank Clark and Travis Kelce, and I think there was another young man on the team too from Lorraine or Elyria somewhere. But I was rooting for him. But you know me, I'm a defensive guy, and I like good defense. And I've been watching Tampa Bay's defense all year, saying, man, but Tampa Bay's defense. But the thing that happened, and again, the biggest beneficiary is going to be Tom Brady, and that should be a portion of the storyline. Is the fact that they just whooped them. In the end, it was no question. Matter of fact, I shared this with you yesterday. It was kind of like a parallel. It was kind of like a parallel. Somebody just get whomped, and they come out saying, "But we didn't lose."
Yeah.
You got all this crazy stuff going on in Washington. Because somebody got whopped and said they didn't get whopped. They got whopped. It's always obvious when you get whooped.
How can you tell? I'm saying, what do you mean?
Because a picture tells 1,000 words.
Yeah.
And the video, the video just doesn't lie. That defense, and it wasn't just the defensive line, the offensive line.
No, both sides of the ball. Their front dominated. Oh, and real quick, let me just take a time because, I also was, rooting for Kansas City, because of the local guys. But on the other end, my first college roommate, my freshman year of college in West Virginia, my college roommate, we called him Kentucky, but Jordan Keith Tandy, he's on the coaching staff down at Tampa Bay. He played Tampa Bay. I'm not sure how long. I haven't spoken to him probably since I left West Virginia, but shout out to him. Got a Super Bowl ring down in Tampa Bay. My first college roommate. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was good. And for me, again, unless the Browns is playing, it's it changes the dynamics for me. To root for Frank and Travis and the young man coming along, Patrick Mahomes. It's he changed the formula for finance on that thing with a $500 million contract.
Man,
he might. I don't know if that's going to help Dak out with fooling with Jerry Jones, but I don't know.
Oh no.
That's the exciting thing for me. Is I'm a sports guy. I make no bones about being a sports guy, and I enjoy it. It's a joy to see and to experience, and to look at the level of talent on the field today is pretty spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I had a feeling this was gonna happen. And I haven't been listening to all the sports talk, but a lot of people just is saying that Mahomes just looked garbage and like trash and like doo-doo, and that's clearly not the case. Like not at all. I don't necessarily agree with like his, throwing guys under the bus, even if it's subtle. You know what I'm saying? You kind of gotta take that on the chin. You gotta wear that. But like,
well, at 25, he'll learn.
No, yeah, and this probably will be one of the things that probably helps propel him, or can be the catalyst that propels him even to a whole different level, a higher level. But I mean, he still showed flashes even under duress, even running for his life, of doing some things that no one else can do.
Well, when you're hurt,
and the injury as well,
and I don't think people will know what a big toe is until it gets hurt.
Man, and I can tell you, it's just like you can't even stand up.
It's not something you particularly care about, think about. It's just down there. Hey, big toe, what's up, brother? Yeah, I ain't seen you in a few years, but you all right. Yeah, hurt it.
Yeah, no.
Hurt it and see what happens. So,
yeah.
Aside from that, everyone has agreed. That's why, the current lying and pushback that goes on amazes me, because now everyone has agreed the last 2 years this is the greatest offense we've ever seen. Yeah, everyone has agreed that.
Yeah, they've been outstanding, and
they've consistently created this narrative around Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City offense and the coach Reed.
Yeah, Andy Reid.
And it, and no one's really been pushing back and arguing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Spinks passed.
Leon
Spinks passed.
Right.
And it's kind of like when he beat Ali.
Mm.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right.
Who could do that?
Well, Tom Brady.
Well, no, and it's not just that. It was. See, Eric Bieniemy undoubtedly is the offensive brains behind Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, he didn't get a shot this year, other than the Andy Rooney Rule.
Right.
Get an interview.
Right.
And none of the narrative is talking about the brains behind the defense and the offense of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and that's the real travesty.
Yeah. Black History Month, that's what this is.
No, 100%.
And you got two high-profile, powerful African-American men who literally dismantled the defending Super Bowl champions.
Right. Yeah. No. It's a slap in the face.
And they were the brain thrust. And not taking anything away from Bruce Arians at all.
No.
But this thing, and again, Tom Brady will be the biggest beneficiary.
But Ty Bowles, Byron Leftwich.
Come on.
Those I can remember when Byron Leftwich was in the league. But just to see how to see that translate is like it's great to see. But to not see these guys be able to ascend to the highest level is like okay, we made a lot of progress, but we still have so far to go.
Right, and I heard one of the players speak to that. If ownership looks a certain way,
there it is.
And those guys are in a billionaires club, and they've been in that billionaires club forever, and and they know. It goes back to Urban Myers is now at Jacksonville.
Right.
He hires the boy out of Iowa.
Yep.
Who left for racism.
Mm-hmm.
But they go back 20 years.
Right.
Now, all of these people available, and he chooses the one guy
right.
who got booted for racism.
Mm-hmm.
It's and without qualms too. He didn't even defend it and say we've got our people. We do. He just moved forward.
Right.
And whether or not he should be called for that, that'll be up to the Jacksonville players.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, this guy won't go in there.
Oh.
Like he would with those young men trying to protect their scholarships.
Yeah, 100%.
And part of the beauty is it was one of our local young men who helped.
Yeah. Shed light on some of it. Right. Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of like I don't know how much that's talked about. What you just said. Kind of like the authority and power and misuse in that position. You know what I'm saying? That literally has the power to affect a young man's life. And people say football is a privilege, not a right, and all of that. But like,
well, see, when folk and I don't want to go here today because I hadn't planned on going here today. So, but let me go just a little bit there because I want to dedicate a whole podcast to that one there. So y'all put a pin in it. We will be back at some point.
Okay.
All right. But if it doesn't matter, then stop taking the money.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, if it doesn't matter, stop taking the money. Okay? All right? We know that some football programs fund the entire athletic department of some schools.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay? And that's not to minimize because we got kids to play some of everything, including hockey. Okay? Because, I was laughing because I was saying to myself is, we ought to just strategically move around the sports world, especially now that MJ owns a NASCAR franchise.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's got a NASCAR something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, last year.
Wow.
But he didn't choose I don't think he chose the African-American driver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, definitely salutes to those guys, the coordinators, because, I mean, they're just proven. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, how much of those pieces come together, and what they do next year, how Kansas City bounces back. Brady said initially, like, oh, no, I'm back. I'm coming back. So, but we'll see how that plays out. If I'm Tom Brady, honestly, I'm probably done. But it wasn't.
He don't have that kind of spirit. Okay. The things he's accomplished have already set the bar far out into the distance in this particular sport.
Right.
Like Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Like Bill Russell. Bill Russell. You ever heard of Bill Russell?
Yeah, for sure.
You ever had the rings Bill Russell has?
And that's the part, though. Like, obviously, this opens it up to the conversation of going across sports. But they're like, no, that's the equivalent of 15 NBA. It's not. It's 7 Super Bowls. It's what it is.
That's all. Yeah, that's all. But it's, so that part there. But this age thing, for him, is an issue.
Yeah, he probably. Yeah. No, and I can understand that.
Yeah, so this age thing is in. So if he can keep going and keep going and keep going. I was trying to think who it was. Was it Earl Morrow or Johnny Unitas? One of them was just old and kept going. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look that up. My fact checkers aren't here today, so.
No, but I mean that's definitely what makes this one, I think, stand out more than the other ones to me. Was the fact that he's still doing it at this age, and I mean,
Well, he didn't throw any whirlybirds Sunday.
no, yeah.
All right. And the reason why he didn't have to throw any whirlybirds is because he's got a receiving core now.
Oh, an amazing receiving core
I'm telling you.
across the board. I mean, they added Fournette. They got a bona fide team. So we'll be. I mean, we'll see what they do. But even guys like Mike Evans already come out to say like, oh no, I'll take less money to keep this thing together so everybody can get paid and stuff like that. And I commend a guy like that, but man, you better get it while it gets good.
Well, everything is fresh down there.
Oh yeah, it's only been 5 minutes.
That's the good thing. It's fresh. So, they got work to do, and as Kansas City discovered, that repeat is not easy.
Man, but imagine if they was able to do it. Imagine if Tampa Bay was able to repeat. That'd be too much.
Well, I know some folk was upset anyway because, Tom Brady's a Trump boy, so they was like, man, we done beat this dude everywhere we could. Now you going to get a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that goes back to my analogy, though, and if you don't mind, I would.
Oh, go ahead. Let him have it.
Just given what's going on in Washington right now, it's like me. I'm kind of like, bye, let's move on, man. But anyway, they got to do whatever they got to do politically. Seeing as how they know they don't have the votes. People say, well, maybe they don't have any conscience. It's not about conscience. This is about power and political power. One group got the power to do it, another group got the power to stand in the way. That's where we are as a nation right now. We're every time somebody says the American people, I'm saying, shut up, you puke. I can't even, because it's like there's no such thing as American. I'm an American person. And I say that every podcast. There's no such thing that has no relevance on any decisions they're making up there. They gave out the stimulus December 29th. Why? There were only 2 days left. If there had been 3 days left, they wouldn't have did it. But I likened it unto Kansas City and the past presidential election.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I liken it to, and I don't know why I like that analogy. It was funny to me. I don't know. It wasn't funny to him and his mama, okay?
No, it was funny.
I was just thinking like this. Okay, here we all saw the Super Bowl, right? Okay, those of you who watched it. All right, and the score was 31-9. All right. So at the end of the game, all right, Patrick Mahomes says, we didn't lose. So he goes up to the ref and says, listen, we didn't lose. The ref says 31-9. Then he goes up to the umpire and says, we didn't lose. Umpire says 31-9. Goes over to the referee, goes back to the head judge, goes back over to we had a female ref there this time.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says 31-9, you lost. All right. And so now all of the Kansas City fans are saying, wait a minute. Patrick Mahomes said, we didn't lose.
Maybe we didn't lose.
Maybe we didn't lose. Maybe we didn't. 31, maybe we didn't. So then one commentator comes back and says, well, how are we going to go forward? What are we going to do about the 9 points? So they wait. They said, we're going to appeal to a higher authority. All right, so they go to the NFL Players Union and say, we didn't lose. Players Union says 31-9, you lost. Well, we'll go to the commissioner. They go to Commissioner Roger Goodell and he says, we didn't lose. Roger Goodell says, I hate to tell y'all, I've been with y'all in the past, but 31-9, you lost. So then they appeal to the owners. 31-9, and they keep appealing and appealing. And every time they appeal, more people are getting on board with the fact that maybe they didn't lose.
Yeah.
And then somebody plays the video. The defense is pummeling them. The offense is pummeling them. And so, I don't know, maybe, I don't think the president won, but we got to figure out what to do with those 9 points of those 74 million.
You know the interesting thing about all that I read? I did read that, so all this money they was raising about all of that, about, his whole process, really, he spent a ton of money on marketing, no money on legal fees. So they wasn't actually doing nothing but perpetuate the narrative.
Well, I mean, come on now. This dude's a genius. I mean, he is reality TV. He is marketing. He's entertainment. I mean, all of those things that he is, unfortunately, don't add up to presidency. You know, maybe if he had been a president and other than title, he could have got reelected. So it's just interesting to me. And, you know, I listen to the narrative now. And the beauty is that for those of you who don't study the Bible and or believe theology, you don't have to worry. United States of America is not there in end times.
I think the sad part about it to me is just this whole us versus them always. And it's just like, I mean, I don't get it.
Well, it has never not been like that.
Right.
Okay. All right. There's always been some form of war, intra-war, going on in this country. And we're seeing its evolution, maybe its maturity. We're witnessing things that people are saying to themselves. I don't believe, I don't believe we can be there. I don't believe. And so for me, and I always live by the scriptures, a house divided against itself cannot stand.
Yeah, but it's just like the Super Bowl or the sporting event. It's like, we in the Super Bowl, you for Tampa Bay, I'm for Kansas City. You got on your jersey, I got on my jersey, right? However the game go, they going home, they getting a trophy, not you. We ain't here fighting each other, doing all of this stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, like, we in the same boat.
Oh, right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I mean, some people carry it to levels that's unbelievable.
And that's what I mean. Like, anytime I look on Facebook, I'm just like, are y'all serious?
Yes. I think that the joy I've had for the past 30 plus years, 40 years, is the fact that I've had a life, vision, purpose, destiny, responsibility. Those things take up so much of my time that sports and all the stuff we do and talk about is an entertainment.
Entertainment.
Right. And I keep it in its proper place because whereas it at a younger age or a different point in my life, it was a major part of my passions.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not my passion.
Right.
I even look at golf. There was a time when golf was one of my real passions. But now it's in there. It has a place. I enjoy doing it. I'm going to do it. Hallelujah, Lord willing. All right. But it's not just because my passions now are driven by so many other things. And I'm passionate as far as when I'm rooting or whatever. I've never been able to holler too loud at sporting events because I got to preach.
No. I'm saying you got the left and the right out in the real world as if it's like that. Like we on two different teams.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I understand. Well, hate to tell you, son. They're two different teams. Yeah. Because you've got the people in this country that see it out of a lens that is always been fading, and today is fading even more. The framers of the Constitution, you can like them or hate them, put stuff in there that we could take advantage of, even though at the time we weren't considered.
It makes no sense to me.
It's never going to make sense. But it makes good politics. It makes not good politics. It is the political system in which we have been handed, which is why probably if we, and we don't think like this, and I may not be here, but 40, 50 years down the road, the way we're going, and if we allow someone like our previous president to get in again and rearrange the world and how we relate to the world without the kind of strategies that two things have kept America in power, and it's not our economy, and everybody knows that. Military and stable government. So you move your military strategically out of position, and who moves in? Your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the space we were occupying, we occupied at some point for some economic reason in the name of a military reason. And both we benefited, or not we, you, the citizens, we didn't benefit, but the overall scheme of America benefited.
Right.
The reason why we want to take democracy all over the world is not to change people's governments, but to control their economy and their military.
Right.
Yeah. And so when you have a destabilized government like we have now, and Trump is out, so whatever he does, he'll do, but there are 100 senators.
Yeah.
And 400 plus congressional people.
Mm-hmm.
And 50 governors. And so we could still have stable government. But some of them have chosen to not participate in a orderly form of potential.
Right.
But a disorderly form of destruction.
Yeah.
And what bothers me more than anything today, because everything is on video, is the consistent lying without shame.
Yeah.
Today I believe in global warming. And tomorrow I'll say, I don't believe in global warming, and I never said that. Is this you on this picture? It is me. I ain't saying no. That's a meme. They doctored the tape. It's not me.
Yeah. I mean, when you're not held accountable for what you do, then it don't matter what you do.
Very good, son. Very good. When you're not held accountable, so gerrymandering has lessened the accountability, because if we got safe seats, then we can act like Jim Jordan.
Right.
Okay. And if 62% of the people in the Republican Party believe that abortion is the primary issue, then all I have to say is I'm pro-life. And I got your vote. I don't have to have any character. I don't have to have any morals. I don't have to represent you. Once I get I don't have to do anything. But on that one issue, all right, same thing maybe with people for pro-choice, or same thing, although the percentages aren't as high. And so when we've defined our candidates in a non-accounting way, or in such narrow ways, then we get what we have. Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Yeah.
So it's up to y'all. I mean, Georgia had a great plan. Took 500,000 people off the rolls. They put 1 million people back.
Yeah.
All right, because it's coming. Voter suppression is coming. Unless Congress fixes it. Okay, it's coming. The religious, nationalistic religious people are coming. And we get confused as African Americans. I read yesterday where guy's running for governor up in Michigan, and he's African American veteran.
Mm.
And he said if he becomes the governor, the first thing he's going to do is get rid of Black History Month in Michigan.
Like what?
Because we should have American history. Now, he's too young read the books I read and be a part of the Black history inclusion movement back in the day when I came along. There was no Black history in our books.
Yeah.
Then we had a Black history class created, and it had its own book.
Right.
Okay, and then some people actually went out and got degrees in Black history for a little while in the early 70s. Okay, but and it's unfortunate because we don't have to just look at Black history, just American history. I mean, all the history from this country is consistently a narrative toward an ideal that never existed.
What you mean?
Well, I mean, we've been lied to all of our history.
Yeah.
Columbus discovered America. We know he didn't. But that's a better narrative than Columbus came and raped and pillaged the Indians or the Native
Yeah,
Americans,
but we just say it without saying that.
indigenous people.
We've been taught that all along, just in different language.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, it's the narrative.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Same thing with slavery. You know, we don't want to have to deal with that narrative. Same thing with racism. We don't have to deal with that narrative. We're better than that. We're not racist. We're law and order. We're a nation of laws, just.
Right.
This is a place where you can come and have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
So, yep, Valentine's Day coming up.
Yeah, man. What you got planned?
I'm going to take your mama. We first got together years ago. I used to always go find the biggest card they had, so I would get these giant cards. Then, because I have no small motor skills, I would draw a card. It looked like a kindergartner.
Man, speaking of cards, I can't even say what I need to say about a card.
Yes.
On air, I gotta say it off camera.
And she don't eat candy, so I would buy her candy. Then I eat it. It's probably what I'm going to do this time, buy her spaghetti, so I got to eat it. She don't eat no candy. She used to eat candy back then, though. Yeah, this might be our 47th, 46th Valentine, 47, something like that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, see, the challenge is, the longer you stay together is, it's real easy to do nothing and have no expectations.
Yeah.
So you have to watch out for that kind of stuff. You got to have expectations, and you gotta treat it as if it has value and put it in your heart and mind that it does have value. We love people. It's easy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real easy. I always say to my friends who don't believe in racism, you don't believe in racism, then at least believe in the commandment that says love your neighbor as yourself.
And then say, who's my neighbor?
Then when they say, who is my neighbor, then that's how they win. Because we live in segregated.
Yeah. I'm saying, just like the dude that is, well, who's my neighbor?
Right. I'm moving next door to you. What you gonna do then? But that was a big fear for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, see, he grew up in a different set of circumstances. That was a big fear.
It's still a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
I mean, you know, I ain't in the bracket for some of these neighborhoods that, you know, where it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, and it's amazing how. And again, like I said, I've been fortunate. My dad chose to be a certain kind of way, which was good, and it blessed my life. But he always wanted to be in a neighborhood that live where black people were.
Yeah, no.
There wasn't no question about where he was going to live.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
There was no question, because he just, that's just how he was. He just worked hard, took care of his family. That was important to him. We went to regular schools.
Right.
Fairly decent education.
Yeah.
Cleveland back then we were at Cleveland Public Schools.
When did that change?
CMSD, I think when we changed governance, I'm not sure.
Okay.
When they changed it to the Cleveland Municipal School District.
Anyway, I ain't gonna go off in that tangent.
But they're all public schools. That's what people don't realize. Akron Public Schools, Solon Public Schools, Strongsville Public Schools.
Yeah, no.
Public just means that it's the city.
It's not private. It's just the taxes, just not your,
Well, it's two taxes. See, if you live in a school district and your kids go to that school, then good. But if you live in a school district, you pay taxes in that school district, and you pay to see your children to another school. So they get taxed twice. Matter of fact, the guy that was the dentist used to live next door, that's why he moved, because he was sending his children to private school. He's like, I ain't paying these taxes twice.
What do?
We lived on La Cloma. First guy.
Oh, okay.
He was a dentist.
Oh, I never knew that dude.
Oh. Who's your neighbor?
Yeah, I knew the other one. I'm a pretty good neighbor now. I know my neighbors.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm excited about Valentine's Day. I hope it's good. It's a little different. Can't really do what I really want to do, so that's kind of like, COVID still lingering. Now they saying what you've been saying all along. We've had this notion of like, okay, when this COVID is over, but that's not even a thing. It's just like, just like the flu and all that other stuff. It's here, but things, with vaccines and then immunes, it'll all work itself out, or it'll progress. We'll be able to have more of a sense of normalcy, but there's still some things that have to be put in place to get to that point.
Absolutely. And your mom and I, we both had our second shot, so we are fully vaccinated and 1 week away from full vaccination. They say after you get the second shot, 2 weeks later you are fully vaccinated.
Oh, man.
You're at 95%. So then they told us, don't stop wearing your mask. Don't stop social distancing. Because the confusion is, there's tons of confusion.
Yeah, I've been reading some stuff. Oh, my goodness. I'm not even going to say because I don't got time for nobody. But
well, I mean, they didn't put COVID in you.
Right.
That's one thing. Hallelujah. I wouldn't have took it. So that's one thing. So you still can catch the virus even though you've been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
But what they put in you prayerfully, if it works, will then give your immune system a boost to be able to counter, which is what your immune system does when something foreign comes into your body anyway, to counter the affects of the virus so that you don't become extremely ill and or deaf.
Right.
And so I was just the other night when I was teaching Bible study, and I gave the spiel on the virus, and I always start off by saying I didn't take it to tell anybody to take it. I took it so I could say I took it, and here's the affect. But now I'm thinking more so like I do need to be more of an advocate for people to take it. And so that's a major revelation in life. For me, I've been evolving in this thing because I was not a shot person.
Right.
Okay. And I understand the flu shot and those things, but they are putting something in you with that. And I understand the sickness and how the body fights and those kind of things. But I just never have been that person. Most of my healthy life, my philosophy is natural and try to do it natural more because of my wife than me. And if I would just eat like her, I would be totally healthy like her. But it has been the fact that I try to do natural over pharmacology, natural where I can over just about anything medically. And so Shots and I have not been on the same page, and I was definitely not going to take the vaccine. And then through personal circumstances and so on and so forth, chose to take it. Hallelujah. But I was not going to be an advocate. But I did want people to know I took it. It's not in secret. So I could say I did. My shoulder, the first one, my shoulder was a little sore for 2 days. The second one, my shoulder was more sore. And I think I had a little something, felt a little some kind of way for 2 days. And it was so amazing because I'm thinking on the third day, as bad as I felt on the second day, I'm thinking on the third day it's going to be like something. It was nothing. I mean, literally nothing. Matter of fact, and I think I said this in Bible study in the sermon last Sunday, it was so profound. I got the second shot on Friday. That Thursday, just from how old people sleep, I woke up with my shoulder hurting so bad that I thought it was the end of the world. I can't even get no shot.
Hold on, your shot arm?
No. Well, it was going to be the shot arm because I was going to get the other one because I got the other one. I'm like, don't punish the same arm. He ain't did nothing to you. But it was, so I'm like, okay, so what? You just aching anyway. So if you're old people, don't worry. It ain't no more ache than you've been used to.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's I think it's powerful, and if we're going to return to church and return to activities and more things like that, the large crowds is out. If you're saying no, I don't want to hate on nobody in large crowds, but for me, large crowds is out for a long time.
Yeah,
and that's why we're working as hard as we're working here with our elders and our team. To be able to facilitate a rotating capability of serving people.
Right. Yeah, man. I have not yet gotten the vaccine. But I've been hearing some people have still been sort of having an issue with even trying to get it. I know some people don't want to get it, but I've been hearing some people saying that they haven't been able to, you know what I'm saying, to get it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Oh, we still black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. We're still black. I mean, it's Biden became the president, and now all black people going to get the vaccine. No. The vaccine distribution has been disproportionately unjust. But we're working hard, and Dr. Macon and Dr. Phillips and others who lead the various pastoral groups have been in the governor's ear. He's working very hard to set up these sites in our churches and to get that vaccine distribution out. But he has to get it for us to get it. But in Ohio, unfortunately, the distribution has not been good when it comes to minority communities. And so we're pressing on that, and we're meeting weekly to address that. And we think that, again, the unfortunate challenge is that we've had a new president for 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks he couldn't get it all fixed. We expect him to fix it, and if he don't, we ain't electing your butt no more. All right. Yeah, but he's only had 3 weeks.
A lot of the teachers are starting to get it.
Man, that's a whole nother issue because, and here was the problem. Targeted stimulus or targeted financial intervention with these packages. Because we had an opportunity after that first one passed, it was so much money that then we target. If schools were important for us to open, why wouldn't you give the teachers who wanted vaccines?
Right.
All right, once they were available.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If schools were important to open, then why not have a system where the parents who are comfortable with kids going to school, they can go. The parents who are comfortable with kids not going to school, they can be online. The teachers who are comfortable going back to school can go back. The teachers who aren't can teach online. Now, what the hell is hard about that?
You need more teachers. But that's like a layer to your point. Right. I mean, no, think about it. Okay. Because I feel like in certain places, that's the case. Like the district where I live, that's the case. But, okay, now I'm a teacher, right? And I'm teaching elementary school kids, right? I got 10 students in my class. Maybe I got 6 students at home. That's not going to work.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That's why one class, I don't need but 2 teachers. The one teacher teaches the kids in class, and the other teacher teaches the kids at home.
For the whole grade?
For that grade.
No, you can't do that. You know how many kids is in each grade?
No.
A lot.
Oh. So I need 4 teachers.
You need way more than that. What I'm saying, it's not enough teachers to facilitate that.
No.
No.
Then how do they go to school regularly?
It's like, I don't know how many, it's 100-something kids in each grade. 500-600 kids in one elementary school.
So you got about 20 kids in the class.
Right.
So you already got, how many teachers? We got 500 kids. You got 30, 40 teachers.
Yeah, but now, look, no. Because now you don't have 20 kids in the class. Your classroom is all automatically getting smaller because you can't have as many kids because you got a social distance.
Right.
So now you automatically have, let's just say we cut it in half. You got twice as many classes, but really you got 4 times as many classes because you have the physical classes and the online classes.
Well, how did they make it work where Marquita lives?
Who's to say that it's working?
It is working.
No.
That's where I got it from.
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Who to say that's working?
Oh.
I'm saying I live in one of the best districts that there is. Everyone has the option to do whatever they want to do. But one teacher cannot teach an in-person class and an online class of kids. They can't do it. No.
Oh.
It's not a lack of opportunity. Who's better? No, one teacher can't teach all these kids. And if I'm a parent, even if I do stay home, unless I can stay home and I don't have to work and be with that kid all day, not a very small percent of kids can actually just do this by themselves. Right. It's an unfortunate situation that we were nowhere near prepared for.
I know that, but my issue has been, okay, we got 12 months now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, just take that scenario. Basically, you needed to increase your capacity by 400%.
He's a numbers guy, so I can't argue with him.
No, I'm saying that's the case. If I got 25 kids per class, now because of COVID, the classroom size stay the same. That doesn't change. So, but now I can't fit 25 kids in here and social distance. So now I got 10. But let's call it 12. So let's just say we cut in half. So now that 25 student classroom is now a 12 student classroom. So now each class becomes 2. But then all of these kids, I'm like, nah, I don't know what we gonna do. I can't stay with this kid all day, but they not going to school. They not about to go get it. So now I got these kids online too. It's not an easy situation.
Oh, so you're a parent, so who am I? I'm a grandparent. I just pick them up and drop them off.
And then it's like, it's not the same when I was even a kid. Because now if I'm online, oh yeah, you could think I'm in class. Because I am in class. You can see me. But I'm on YouTube. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's nothing. I'm walking through the grocery store and I hear different stories of parents talking.
So now, hey, Myron, all the kids acting like us. We didn't even have YouTube for me, and Myron was on some tube.
Or, I seen a lawyer on Zoom the other day. He had a cat filter on this thing. He in court. And he looked like a cat. And he couldn't take it off. And now we think about some 5th grade kids, some kindergartners. What you gonna do with that?
You might have just saved that podcast and saved some people's lives because I was coming after them.
No, but what I'm saying, so the strategic plan has to be, we have to increase capacity because the teacher, well, this brings us to another conversation. These teachers need additional pay.
Oh, I'm never against that. I have, and so Dee and Kimberly, going back to Dee and Kimberly from the time they were in school until now, we don't have no children. Derek ain't been in school since, what year Derek graduated?
2012.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
From high school?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that ain't that long ago.
2012. Yeah. He came out. He wasn't in. Maybe 11. It might have been 11.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we always vote for the levies.
2011.
Whether we have confidence in what they're doing with the money or not, because that's like teachers, police people, fire people, EMS people. A lot of people need more pay. That's why they fighting about $15 an hour is just stupid. Our country and the wealth of our country has grown exponentially, and we still want to pay. That goes back to the concept slavery. Between prison industrial complex and the wages that we pay so many people, we keep our slaves. We will always try to act like slaves are happy. That's always been the narrative. But, prayerfully, they're figuring it out differently, because a lot of children are really, really being left behind.
No, like across the board, like it's a challenging situation, because it's like, but even beyond that though, the bigger issue is not even about any of that. It's about the curriculum as a whole.
Right.
It's my issue with the entire schooling system anyway. So, I mean, all of these little tests and all of this other little stuff, ain't none of that of any relevance to me, because it's like we're doing all of this. Basically, we've created a system. We've created a system which is, it does a couple of things. It teaches you to conform. It's a babysitter, and it's preparing some kids to be workers, but it's too rigid to even accommodate a good portion of students, because it's not flexible. It doesn't play to their strengths. It's like, this is what it is, so you have to conform to this. And if you can conform to this and do this, and this, then you'll be okay. But if you can't conform to this, then you won't, and you'll be labeled this and that. But it's not really giving you the skills that you need to be successful in this country. I mean, you can come through, you can learn these classes, this class, and this class, and you can go get this degree, and then you can go get this job. And if you don't have any money, then all of this has been accumulating the debt that you can never overcome. So you'll be getting the job at this level, but you need the job at this level just so you can pay off your debt.
This brings me to another point.
What's that?
Mr. Biden, President Biden.
Okay.
Forgive the debt.
Hey. Now, the last thing I heard about it, and I'm all in on this because this is huge. The most recent thing I heard about it, and this may have been a week, maybe this 2 weeks. Somebody in Congress or something was pushing for him. And I don't know how this. I don't know what's the implications, or what's the, like, I don't know the word, how real this is, or if this is possible. They said they pushing him to go ahead and do the executive order for $50,000. I was like, ooh, wait.
And this has nothing to do with being liberal, progressive, or conservative. It's the consistent drawing of the battle lines in this country.
Yeah.
Left, right, red, white, black, white, rich, poor. No. We need to begin to touch every American so that we forgive the student loan debt in a proportionate ratio that touches every American. Now, some people are going to get a greater benefit because they may or may not need forgiveness. But some people are going to get another greater benefit because the forgiveness will literally be liberation for them.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense that if you create a graduated scale based on huge economics, not small economics, like they're talking about now, 150,000, 75,000 for stimulus. Today, those numbers sound large to people, $150,000 a year, $75,000 a year, but not in the scheme of wealth of this country.
Not even.
Okay. that's going to get you lower middle class.
And I mean, and you know, it's continuing. It's continuing. The gap is continuing to increase.
Right.
And it's getting closer and closer.
Well, it's nowhere it's not in capitalism.
Yeah.
But anyway, if we touch every American, create a graduated scale, and I think I said this either in the sermon or Bible study somewhere, create a graduated scale, you know, whereas people $500,000 and under, above, you know, they get 40%, 50%, and then $250,000, 75%, and people make less than a certain amount, 100%.
But here's yeah, I'm with you. But here's
50,000 to some people that's from God.
This is the bigger issue, though. The bigger issue is two things: it's affordable higher education, meaning that it's not, you know, it's not creating that, it's not contributing to that wealth gap. But it's unfortunate that we live in a country that will let you rack up $100,000 worth of student debt. So basically, give you a loan on $100,000, right, for education at 18 years old, but won't even give you that a $10,000 loan to start your own business. So it's like, it's fake. You know, there's a facade. There's a illusion. They're creating an illusion of helping you get somewhere.
Right. Well, given the fact that the educational cost has rocketed, you know, over the last few decades.
Based on what, though?
I don't know.
That's a good question that we need to come back on that, because like, what is this cost based on?
Faculty is.
I'm saying
faculty would probably argue, not us, it's not us.
Because we know that the whole textbook and all of that is a scheme and a scam. I'm just saying, like, we can't act like we this and we that, but like, how can I get $100,000 loan to go to school, but I can't get a $10,000 loan to fund this business plan that I have?
Because you don't have no credit.
I'm getting $100,000 loan.
Right. Well, it goes back to something I said to somebody earlier in the week, or maybe whenever, is that all of our models, many of our models are broken, but nobody's willing to do what it would take to create some new ones, because I think they're beyond fixing. Okay. Housing. All right. Broken model.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you get into business? How do you become an entrepreneur? There's so many broken models, and over the years, we created welfare models that were definitely non-empowering and broken. Mm-hmm. And some residual of that exists to this day. And so then you spend all of your political time fighting to restrict, to increase, versus investing, empowering, and creating an economy that works in a capitalistic system. That's why the idea of nonprofit, certainly for churches and certain organizations, without a doubt, but it's a concept that has been created, unfortunately, to me, is a broken model. Necessary, major part of the infrastructure of our current safety nets and so many different things, whether it's education, arts, healthcare, health systems, because some of our bigger institutions are nonprofits until you can't pay your bill.
Right.
But, you know, just so many of the models are broken in the sense that they undergird, it's like affordable housing. Okay, somebody builds that affordable housing, and they're going to try to make you believe they don't make any money. But by the time they get all of the breaks they get to come into a lower income community, they've taken the last little bit of potential wealth out of that community. because that housing stock is not going to be valued at a rate and a price that can bring the value of the properties up enough to even be bankable, let alone create anything.
Yeah.
And that's why historically there was always the HUMTA, the CRA, Community Reinvestment Act, and those kind of things was to create vibrancy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they're regulated, sometimes they're monitored, sometimes they're not. But technically, banks should reinvest back into the community. And invest, not again, you know, empowerment models, investment models literally can make a difference for people who choose to participate in the difference making. I'll use one example of, so it's a rough model, but it's worked for some families, and that's Habitat for Humanity, the sweat equity and participating. I've worked on a couple of their projects and built a couple of houses over the years. You know, and so no one just gave anybody anything.
Mm-hmm.
They had to work for it.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of work. It's tough. It's not easy, but you get a lot of corporate volunteers who come and assist and
right.
Things like that. So, but they're empowering models. There's a way to get at it, you know, and then people who unfortunately choose to drop out of life, then, you know, that's something different. But we got a lot of people today that we can move from place one to place two with the right kind of models of investment and opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, President Biden, we want our vaccine, sir.
Yeah, no, I want the 50,000. I want the 50,000 or the full baby, the full metal jacket, the whole thing, the whole thing.
President Biden signed that bill.
That's what, you know, that's wealth transfer. But
Rob Portman, vote for the stimulus.
It shouldn't.
Y'all tell Senator Portman, you ain't coming back no how. Vote for the stimulus. Quit fussing.
It's so much they've been trying to write in there, so we'll see. But you know,
yep, Valentine's Day coming up. Hallelujah.
Should we open it up to the public? Or no?
What?
The contest.
Oh, the contest, the Black History contest.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, put it on the what you call that thing, website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, put it on the website.
I don't know.
I just don't want to be y'all be hating on me on Facebook if you don't win. I want y'all running talking about we won by a landslide. You didn't win.
Yeah, no, that should be good though.
You got 9 points. It was 31-9.
I remember I entered a contest to write when I was a kid. The Reading Rainbow had a contest. I wrote it in.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty good in there. Some LeVar Burton wrote back and all that. Remember that?
No.
Even though I think like my story was like somewhat based on a movie that I really liked. But I was in like second grade, so what can I say?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was in second grade. I think I was. I know I was in third grade. I remember fifth grade because I'm not going to name the teacher. You know, he might be deceased. He used to beat me to death.
Yeah.
Seventh grade, too. I got a seventh grade teacher that beat me, too. Sixth grade, I didn't get beat a lot. Teachers can't beat kids now. They be like, damn, who changed them doggone rules? Parents can't either, though.
No, not really.
Yeah. It wasn't the best form of discipline, but for some of us, it worked. I could have thought of some better forms. Now, sit down, little Chucky, and I'm going to give you some pizza and ice cream. Oh, thank you, teacher. I won't be bad anymore.
I always think about that, though. Like, some kids, it don't matter what you do. So it's like, you got to know, like, what works for your person. Like, just like in coaching, like, I had different types of coaches. So you got to know, it's like, just like a coach knowing your players, you got to know your kid. Like, you got to know what motivates them, what they respond well to. So it's like some kids may respond well. Like some kid, you might whoop them and they'll be like, oh, you know. Some kid, you might whoop them and they'll be like, okay, whatever, I don't care. You just got to know, like, different things work on different people.
Well, it worked on me, but it didn't make me stop doing that.
And it's
no,
like
seriously, it did work.
you can't.
It was like, no, please don't.
You can't learn. You can't learn a lesson until you learn the lesson.
Right.
So it's like I can't. Your parent can't teach it to you. Right. You got to learn it. I mean, you know, if you smart, when they try to teach you, you'll get it. But until it clicks, it don't click.
Yeah, but see, we had the cavalry at home because we got beat in school. You got beat at home.
Oh, I never really got in trouble at school because I always didn't want to get in trouble at home. So a lot of people got spared. Like I'm like, man, you so lucky. I just don't want to get in trouble. But like, so like several like fights and stuff I didn't even get in school because I'm just like, I don't feel like dealing with what's gonna come after this. Cause I know I'm gonna whoop you, but like I'm gonna have to deal with I might get suspended, have to go home and have to talk about it. But I don't want to go through all of that, so I'm just gonna ignore you.
I never got in trouble for that kind of stuff. People think I was bad. I wasn't bad. I got in trouble for doing exactly what I'm doing now. Making people laugh, joking, having fun. Are you paying attention? Yes, I'm paying attention.
I don't know. I guess I don't know if I would whoop my kid. Like I don't know. Like growing up, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna whoop the kid. But then it's like, I don't know. But then it's like, they just, I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, and I should be more honest about I never got a lot of whoopings.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of whoopings.
I just like to talk about it. It seems like if you got beat, it was like cool or something. I don't know.
We got whoopings, but we didn't get like probably not as much as we should have.
Y'all mama whoop y'all.
I don't know. I think y'all both more so threatened than y'all actually did. But for I don't know. I don't think I was a bad kid at all. Well, mommy, you know, she always say otherwise, but like I don't think I was a bad kid at all.
No, I wasn't a bad kid either. I just enjoyed having fun and playing in school. So most of my stuff was around that kind of stuff.
I don't think I ever even been suspended. I never even been suspended from school.
I was never suspended.
Well, they tried to suspend me this one time, but you didn't let them.
Oh.
But it was nonsense. I didn't even do nothing wrong. It was something crazy.
What I told them they couldn't.
Yeah, it was like, we're sending Charles home. It was like, no, you're not. I'm sure, like I would probably do the same thing if it was my kid. Like, well, you said you what? Oh no, you're not. You can't do that. And then I stayed, or it was like I was out of. It was crazy too, but I probably should have took the suspension because it was about to be like spring break. So like something happened. It was like a substitute teacher. All these kids was being bad, and then somehow I got blamed for it. So they were trying to suspend me or something. And then so I went away for a couple periods. And then you came up there and told them, like, no, we not doing that. And then I came back when it was like gym, and then all my friends were there. They're like, oh, Charles back. We was all like, yeah. And then it was like we was playing basketball or something. But that was good.
I wonder what my premise was.
No, because, like, I'm saying, like, I literally had never been in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So it was overkill. Well, you know, I never agree with this new crap they have anyway. Zero tolerance.
Yeah. If I'm just sitting down, right?
Zero tolerance means you can't do your job, so now you don't want to do your job. So since you can't do your job and you don't want to do your job, you're gonna make the kid pay. Now all my teachers are going like, we're gonna punch you, Pastor. We're gonna punch you.
No, zero tolerance mean this. I could be sitting right here, eating my lunch, minding my business, doing my homework. If a kid just run up out of the blue and just punches me, I'm suspended. That's zero tolerance policy. I don't even got to hit him back.
Oh, right. That happened to Derek. I remember that.
Hey, I'm like, what? I'm suspended? So, like, you don't even, it's not even just a retaliation. Being involved in the altercation gets you suspended. And it's like, y'all tripping.
Right. Because I remember it literally made no sense at all. You know, and I remember sitting down with that principal in Derek's situation, and he you know, God's given me a grace. Had to admit it made no sense. Okay, because you know Derek was smaller, and somebody wanted technically it was bullying, really. And that's before they really started talking about bullying. Of course, but Derek unfortunately handled his business.
Oh. But that wasn't even in school, though. That's the crazy thing about it.
Right.
Kids can even get in trouble for something that don't even happen in school. I don't get it.
Right.
And that's been a thing ever since I was a kid. I remember kids that got suspended for fighting after school.
Oh, yeah. You get suspended. When I was in school, you get suspended for fighting after
I'm saying, like, we not even on school grounds. We was a whole nother place. It's crazy. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, I ain't trying to knock nobody, but, yeah.
Well, I know parenting is tough. Being in school, being a teacher is tough. But just for the sake of the kids, it's tough being a kid, too.
No, you know, you got your perspective, you know. You got your own set of things that's important and all that.
Well, I always tell people, you know, you have your, at least when I was in school, you know, it started with number one and went down to the last person in the class. You know?
Did we have that? We might have had that on the report cards.
No, they had that in the book and the thing. The top kid.
Oh no, by the time I come around, they probably had to get rid of that.
And then, you know, and then when I first started in school, they had the first section. Oh yeah, by section. And as you went up, it was made to be smarter, but my friends who were in the higher sections really just had behavioral problems, you know, in the sense that they like to fight or like to play or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it was always just intelligence, but they always had a way of labeling kids to create turmoil amongst the kids.
Yeah.
Because the moment you get a label and the kids find out about the label,
yeah,
that's a whole nother thing.
Right. Yeah, that's a fact. So I don't know, man. Excited. It's Black History Month, but it's always Black History.
Well, we'll do the Black History show before the end of the month.
I'm excited about the movie that's coming out. Dang, I forgot what it's called, but it's the Fred Hampton, the Black Panthers movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of it was shot right here in Cleveland.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I'm excited about that.
Search of a Messiah.
Yeah.
Messiah something.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. And see, that's, boy, you know why that's so powerful?
Why?
Because racism can only exist because somebody is going to be a Judas.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is going to stand up and say, if you elect me governor of Michigan, I'll get rid of Black history.
Yeah.
So vote for me. Because, I mean, those of us who really understand, we know 2 or 3 things that people who hate us have to do. First of all, they try to co-opt us through religion.
Right.
All right. Secondly, then they have to restrict access to the ballot. Okay. All right, so they'll restrict access to the ballot through all these voter suppression laws. And the third thing they try to do is to pit us one against another.
Mm-hmm.
And that has never changed since the beginning. And although I've got tons of, and again, and maybe I need to do something on the shows, you know, Democrat, Republican, because people think I just hate Republicans or I like Democrats. No, neither one of them have been the champion for African-American clauses. It's been small segments of history when a Republican president stood up against slavery. And so what did black people do? They responded by becoming Republicans.
Right.
Another president stood up in history and signed 3 bills that were significant. Voting rights, civil rights, fair housing. And what happened? Blacks became Democrats.
Right.
Between both parties, historically, all right? But it was only a numbers game for either party. And it's still a numbers game for the Republicans, different than the Democrats.
Yeah.
And the reason why, you know, these tents, you know, everybody keeps talking about the big tent, all right? Expanding the tent, okay? And so for me, I have to be comfortable in the tent.
Right.
Okay? And so when I look at the left today, Their tent is more inclusive of race, gender, ethnicity, all of the various things. When I look at the right today, their tent is starting to fill up with people I know hate me.
Mm-hmm.
Proud Boys, malicious.
Right.
Those people hate me. Religious nationalists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those people hate me.
Right.
And as I said to my colleagues on Tuesday, don't worship with me and then hate me by policy.
Yeah.
Don't praise God with me and then hate me by policy.
Right.
If your policies hate me, I don't need your worship.
Mm.
See, I'm free to worship Christ, and I've been for 40 years, well, longer than that, but at least consciously and actively. Prior to that, I went to church Easter and Mother's Day, but seriously in Christ. And so I'm real clear on Christ, and I'm real clear on what worship is. I'm real clear on what fellowship is, and I'm real clear on what it means to love my neighbor.
Right.
And so the hate that's up under that tent right now is pretty vitriol toward me.
Right. Yeah.
And right now, when it came time to pass the John Lewis law, it was them that stopped it. When it came time to pass the criminal justice bill, it was them that stopped it. When it came time for stimulus back in May of 2020,
mm-hmm.
it was them that stopped it.
Right.
So right now, I'm going to be under the tent whose policies and affirmations affect me and the people that look like me. All right. And so if your tent is over there full of religion and whatever it is, keep it. Because the good thing about religion, it goes in and out of both tents. Or spirituality.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's all I got.
It's a wrap?
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's
Be safe.
Day.